All right, beautiful people. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and happy weekend. So, how are you? So today is thank God it's Friday. So, how you guys? How have you been? How has your week been? Yeah, for some people it must have been crazy. For some, just there. For some, it was hot. It was a good week. So share with me how your week has been. So be kind enough to also share with me which part of the globe you are. If you are in Antarctica, please, I want to know. If you are in wherever you are, just let me know in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us once again for this all important section on how to stay productive online. So it promises to be a very interesting one, a super interesting one. So I want you to keep your fingers crossed and get ready to enjoy the ride with us. Will you? Get ready to enjoy the ride with us. All right. So my name is Udeme, and I'm here with Diana, Princess Diana. This particular Princess Diana is from Cameroon. It's not the one from London. So Diana is joining us from Cameroon, and she is going to be in the chat with you. Keep you busy, you know. Keep you busy. Answer your questions, answer your queries, and just every other thing. So I'll be available there. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, everyone. And this is a big shout out to AWE Cameroon. Thank you so much for making this happen for us and for you. And everyone that has benefited from our sessions so far. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. So I'm looking at the chat right now to see who's here and who is not here. So share with me what you want to in the chat. I'll be happy to engage with Princess Diana. All right. Okay, so once again, we're going to be talking about staying productive online, and I'm going to be having a few questions for you, and I expect you to ask me a few as well. So be kind enough to make it very interactive. So if you're here, please hit on the thumbs up button. When you do that, what you need to do next is to hit on the share button and invite the people that's supposed to be here to come join us so that we have this swell time together. Okay. All right, so we'll be doing this in 3 different segments. Now, the first part, we are going to be looking at how to how to set up your remote office. And then we are going to head over to the parts where we get to explain the importance of building a productive work environment. And then we are going to go to the last part where we're going to help you to manage and maintain your well-being, which is very, very important for you working remotely. Okay, so I'm going to be asking you the first question while waiting for you to say something. But meanwhile, this is just more like a reminder for those of you who are yet to sign up for the Hustle Academy. So remember to click on that link. Diana is going to drop it in the chat. So click on that link and sign up and join the Hustle Academy, where you have the room to learn about how to pitch, how to draw a business growth plan, learn how to get financing for your business, learn about sales, learn about digital marketing, and get matched to a mentor. All of this is very important, and the goal is going to be for you to get things done properly with your business. So Google is giving you that platform to be able to take advantage of. So take advantage of it. The link is going to be dropped in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to ask you the first question. How has COVID-19 impacted your role? So everybody has a story, trust me. On this particular subject, everybody and actually has a story to tell. It must have been rosy for some people, and it must have been dreadful for some people. Trust me. Some people um, were almost on the brink of giving up on life. Some people committed suicide because they couldn't take care of themselves and their families. Some people, COVID killed. Some people were laid off. Some people gained new roles. Some people gained new skills. Some people lost jobs. Some people lost money. You know, a lot of things happen to different people, different faces, different problems. So I want you to share with me which one was yours. And feel free, right? Feel free. Nobody's here to throw stones at you. We just want to learn from our past experiences, what has happened, and what has transpired. And this must be like 3 years ago now for as at today. So don't be scared that anybody's going to throw stones at you. Oh yes. So say something in the chats. Words for you. Has COVID-19 impacted your role? I hope you didn't lose anybody to the disease. Just hoping so. I hope you didn't lose a job like mine, like myself. Jobs were not coming in. Training was supposed to be a physical thing, and jobs were not coming in. So, well, you had to find a way to survive. And it was really tricky. Yeah. But thank you so much for sharing. Diana is going to be in the chat to respond to you. So let's go on. Look at the setting up of your remote office. So what is remote working? When you talk about remote office, that means you are working in the remote office. But what is actually remote working itself? So remote working is this working style that allows professionals to work outside of the traditional office environment. Just based on the concept that work doesn't need to be done in a specific place, in a specific location for it to be executed successfully. Work doesn't need to be done in a physical office. Okay? So while having the ability to work from outside of the corporate office has been feasible for a lot of years up until when the COVID came, working remotely is now more like the mainstream. I know a lot of people that have left their on-site jobs to take up a remote role. So there's a lot that people have gained out of working remotely. So you don't want to be left out of that privilege of working remotely if you have the room to. You actually have the room to. So I implore you once again, if you have any questions, if you have any queries, please be kind enough to say it, be kind enough to drop it for us in the chat section. Be kind enough to drop it in the chat section for us. Okay. So where can people work remotely? A couple of places. So when people say they're working remotely, doesn't necessarily mean that actually working from their homes. Now, working from your home is just one of those locations that you can use to work remotely. So for some employees, working from home is the best option, including myself, to give you that flexibility alongside with the home life. They also have the room to work in a coffee shop and work also in a coffee shop. Well, but working in public places like coffee shop, bars, and all those places, life can be pretty boring. So the best way out is to go to where you have human beings that are passing by, so that you won't feel you are completely off the grid. Okay, and so again, you can also work in co-working spaces. A good option for freelancers, even though sometimes a little bit expensive. Can need some fees for a dedicated table, dedicated workspace to get things done. You can also work from a library. Library is always free most times, but if you need Wi-Fi, you need to pay for it, and then you have the tables also that are available if you want to run a video conferencing call and all those other options. So you have all of that available for you. A few places that you can choose to work remotely. Okay, So when you are working in an office, you need tools to be able to work remotely. So what do you think you need to work remotely? What do you need to work remotely? Share with me what you think you need to work remotely. What do you think you need to work remotely? Okay, so if you have any questions, please don't hold back, drop it in the chat. So one of the things you need first is going to be a dedicated workspace. Now, why is it actually called dedicated? Because you have actually dedicated it. Just like the word says, you dedicated it for real. Like you need to respect that space. You need to respect that particular place that you call an office. It may be a place that is separate from your home, in your home. Okay. So rather than working from your room, rather than working from a couch, you need to get a specific place where you can get your job done, where you call your office so that you respect that particular space. Now you need also the devices, the technology that you're going to be needing to get the work done, the technology you'll be needing to drive the work. For example, you need a laptop. If you're working on documents, you're working on spreadsheets, you need a phone for communication, and you need an internet. What can you do without the internet in today's age? Absolutely nothing. Okay, let me not be too exaggerated. It is just not so much you can do without the internet in today's world, right? People can always stay off the internet. And yes, and you need power as well. So let's look at how you can create your own space. So what you need, the living room or in a bed might not be the best place, like I mentioned earlier. The couch might not be the best place if you want to be productive. That's why it's important for you to create the workplace, workspace that you want that can give you that productive lifestyle. Okay, so avoid the bed, avoid the couch. Get a good table, get a good chair. You know, if possible, you need to create an ergonomically comfortable workspace. Ergonomic in the sense that you can easily just stretch to get anything done without the need to stand up, or you just roll your seat, get things done without the need to get up. You need to find a seat too that is ergonomically fit, because you need to be spending a lot of time on that your seat, so your back and your waist might be hurt if you're not taking good care of it. So you need a good seat that can help you to get things done. And then you need to make sure that space is really, really comfortable. And you need to consider your posture. Your posture is very important for what you want to achieve. So think about it. Think about these few points when you're ready to create your own workspace. All right. Then you also need some physical equipment and devices, the technology that you need to actually use to get the work done. So you need your phone, depending on the kind of work that you do, or depending on the kind of work that you're trying to do. You need your phone to answer calls. You need to also communicate with your teammates, both through calls and on chats, right? Maybe Slack, maybe WhatsApp, or any of those options. And you also need a computer, maybe a laptop, maybe a desktop. If you're working on multiple documents, working on multiple tabs at the same time, you need that also for your video calls, your video conferencing calls. And because most laptops have this webcam, so you can use the webcam of your laptop to actually join video calls, just like what we're having right now. And then you need a notebook as well. So you need to keep a notebook handy so you can jot down your thoughts, things to do, what you want to do, ideas, and all of that. So all of this is very necessary and very, very important as well. And what can you do without power? All those electrical devices are all they're electrically powered. Okay, so maybe you have another one that is solar powered. So you need a stable source of power to be able to get your devices powered so they can get your job done comfortable. So finding a stable power source is very key, and it could be a big challenge, especially for those of us living in Africa, and maybe some countries like our own could be a little bit tricky to get power to get things done. Businesses get to struggle when power is gambled upon. That doesn't. It's not just businesses now. It's also with the freelancers. It becomes a little bit tricky. It becomes a little bit tricky to get power, to get your job done. You need a stable source of power to be able to charge your devices, your laptop, your mobile phones. So you need to find a way to surmount all those challenges. Possibly you can get a generating set, which is still very tricky, like in a country like us, where you can even have the generator and you don't find the petrol to buy. You find it to buy, you buy at almost times 3 times 4 of the rate to generate. So you may think about getting a solar panel, solar device to power your equipment, right? And then you can get some power banks for your phones. You can get power packs. You can get power packs for your system. So working on the go remotely in other locations with Wi-Fi, such as cafes, libraries, are also much of a great option. So you can take your laptop to a place where you can get power supply, maybe an eatery, maybe a sit-down, maybe a cafe, maybe a library, like you mentioned earlier. Could also be great options for you to leverage on their power so that you don't get shut out. And again, internet is very, very important. Like I mentioned, you can almost do nothing in an age without a good internet. So the cost of internet has relatively gone low, but it's not still low enough, because slow internet connection means that you can't do much online. You don't want that. So web pages will take forever to load. So you need a good and a strong internet to be able to get your job done. To be productive, you need to have a decent internet connection, a good one, a strong internet connection. That might mean moving from laptop catering to investing in wider broadbands. So you can get an ISP, you can get a good router where you can get to share your Wi-Fi. You can choose maybe a particular service provider that is available in your area. The area is there. MTN works, Glo works a bit, and other networks are not that very strong here. You need to choose what works and then find a backup. Find a good router and then plug your devices into the Wi-Fi. It gives the device more battery time. And then you can always test and compare the speeds when you want to get on it, especially some live sessions like this, so that you don't get kicked off. Okay, when you want to get things done. All right, so there are a couple of challenges that are associated with remote working. Couple of challenges associated with remote working. So, and it might look like there are a lot of advantages there, but it also has its own challenges. So I'm going to be looking at a few of those challenges. So loneliness is top on that list. A lot of challenges. Loneliness is top on that list. And so if you've been an extrovert, right, it will become very difficult for you to be able to make that switch where you get to work alone. We're used to people meeting you and all that. It may not be that productive, so you need to find a way to work. Your loneliness and your social interaction might be hampered a little bit also. And then self-discipline, you need dedication, you need discipline, you need self-control so that you can help yourself to avoid losing momentum while you're working from home. You don't need to convince yourself that single YouTube video doing when you're working will do you harm. No, don't convince yourself, because that one video is going to make you want some more. And before you know it, you've burnt the whole hour. And sometimes people that work remotely don't get the employee benefits. You won't have all those benefits. They're working in an office that pay staff extra for insurance, for health, for retirement, transport allowance or feeding allowance being in the office. You not have all that benefit added to it. And then it's hard to switch off. Like I keep telling people, remote workers work harder than people that are working on sites. And that's true, because you find it very difficult to switch off. You walk into your personal time. You don't know how to switch off. That's the truth. Okay? So you have all those as one of the challenges associated with remote work. And then there's this fear of missing out. It make you feel left out occasionally when you miss out on important announcements, meetings, events in the office. upcoming events, and all of those. So uh, tools like Slack can always help you to stay abreast with people, stay up to date with the information, stay up to date with yourself, and all of that. So there are a couple of challenges with remote work, even though it could make you a little bit comfortable. And they also have a truckload of benefits of working remotely. So I'm going to be weighing which one is, the pros and the cons, which one is heavier. So a couple of benefits of working remotely. So you have this flexibility. There are things that just needs to get done at home. So whether you're waiting for a payment, you're waiting for a parcel, you're working from home, it gives you that flexibility to deal with everything unexpected. And then everyday tasks, you can always fit all those everyday tasks around your work, like doing your laundry, receiving groceries, and all of that. And then there is no committing. You don't risk yourself, you don't risk your family, you know. You're living in a city like Lagos, a state like Lagos where you get to wake up by 5:30 you should be in the bus. You can get to the office by 8:30, 9 o'clock. I mean, we are a 4 o'clock job, you are getting home by maybe 8, 9. So they live like, to avoid all those, have time for people, have time to as well. And then there is this thing that you can build up, you can have some real power, can have all the distractions, but a lot of laundry. In fact, you get to find yourself getting, you have high morale, also notably less stressed because you don't get to your space than their in-house employees. They produce better work, they feel more committed to places, and all of these stands out as you get to reduce overhead cost of running. That means there is, if you are in a city rents for office space, you cut out all of that. Now, on employees, one of the reasons they're cutting down on employees because they want to encourage remote working. So they're shutting down their offices, their physical offices, obviously where they are paying for it. You get, and then there's a greater productivity also from a highly engaged workforce because you guys have more time up your sleeves. You have access to wider pool of talent. Wider pool of talent, you can hire people from just across everywhere on the globe. We are not restricted to people that must report to the office every day, and sign a time book and all those protocols. We have improved employee retention as well. Okay, so we're taking a pause to answer your questions. If you have some for me, is anybody questions? Okay, so I'll just go on to the next part while waiting for to ask questions. All right. Okay, so let's go to the second part of this presentation, building a productive environment. So work environment is extremely very, very important because it adds up to how productive you get to be at the end of the day. The quality of your workspace is vital, very, very vital. So I'm going to be sharing a few tips on how you can create a workspace that promotes your wellness and helps your productivity, including the use of natural light and depth positions. So you have the need to consider the space for various tasks and how you want to arrange your home office layout effectively. So what you need to do is create an area of your own to work. So it can be a countertop, can be a kitchen desk where you can get to place your laptop. It could be in a corner, it could be a den with a desk, Could be a whole room. So if your workspace is in a shared space, you need to consider creating a screen. You can add separation, especially if you are having jobs like what we do here. So once in a while you're having to do video calls, you need to create that barrier so that you don't get all those distractions from the background. Okay? You need to designate an area and then find the right chair. Finding the right chair is very, very important because you need to sit down on the desk and then your back is going to be at risk if you have not gotten the right chair. Then you'll be going down with some back problems and breast problems. To get a good chair, invest in a good seat and a good table. And then develop a good filing system that can help to keep you very, very organized. And then we also seen that research has it that we have about 40% of decrease in productivity due to workplace distractions and an increased 27% of errors. According to the research on the effect of work environment on productivity, workplace distractions cuts employee productivity by 40%. There's a decrease in employee productivity by 40%, and an increase in errors by 27%. Now that's a whooping 67%. So we have just about, let's say, 33% of accuracy, and that's very poor. You need to learn how to minimize distractions. So how can you minimize distractions? Now, a few steps to how you can minimize distractions. You need to let others know your work hours. It can be challenging actually to work remotely and it become more challenging if you are working from a home environment. Sometimes you need to focus on the work right in front of you can even be a challenge. Okay, so if you need to let people know your working hours, family, neighbors, friends, they have to know. That way, you can always speak to. They can always speak to you at a time that suits the both of you, not just a time that they keep patching into your programs or schedules. Usually, we are doing live video calls like what I'm doing right now. So this also allows them to interrupt you. This will also allow them to interrupt you if it is urgent. So you know, okay, this guy is going to be busy at this time. So this is urgent, this is an emergency, so we can break in and just catch him. And then you need to learn how to do one thing at a time. Avoid breaking down your huge. After breaking down your huge process into smaller doable pieces, you need to choose one and dedicate yourself entirely to it. Multitasking is good, right? But sometimes people get to mix things up if you are multitasking. So it's good you break it into bits and approach them one after the other. So after you complete it, you can now move on to the next, and then the next, and then the next. Just prioritize your task based on how important they are, and also based on their preferences, judging from the deadlines that you've been offered. Then you need to avoid the televisions, all those household distractions. Put all the pets away. While we love our furry friends, the cat, the dog, and all those things, we need to, save the animal love for after the workhouse. I'm not after the pet person, so it's not a big deal for me. It could be a big deal for some people that are pet people. And then once in a while, take regular breaks. There's only so much your brain can carry. There's only so much your brain can handle. There's only so much your brain can do before it starts failing. And then you begin to get distracted. So you need to get up from the table to get a short walk, get a short break, grab a coffee. You find that when you go out, when you go back to the work, it feels a lot easier. Maybe sometimes even take a nap, right? Sleep it away to help you to regain your strength again. Okay, so how can you improve productivity within the teams? Yeah, thank you for helping me, permitting me to take that seat, even though I didn't ask for permission. So how can you improve productivity within the teams? How can you improve productivity within the team? Okay, so I'm waiting for one person to say something in the chat apart from Diana. So Diana has been talking all along, dropping her comments in the chat. So I wish somebody can say something. How can you improve productivity within the teams? How can you improve productivity within the team? So we are going to be sharing a few project management tools. But just so you know, the remote team members also need to be able to plan. They also need to be able to collaborate on various commitments and deliverables and tasks. You need to track the flow of work from start to finish. You need to be able to establish, excuse me, you need to be able to establish vision. You need to be able to establish deliverables also, and then get to also establish logistics for each of the team communications. You need to also promote visibility and transparency of all the work that needs to be done. And tracking the quality of the work is also very important. Tracking the status of the projects and work is also very important. You need to also they also get to identify and address bottlenecks. Bottlenecks. So you need to get your team up to date with what needs to be done. You can use some project management tools, Trello, Asana, Basecamp, Nuba, and all of that. They are all available for you to make use of to be able to track the activities from your team. So we're going to be talking about communication now. Communication. So we found out that workplace, the 70% of workplace mistakes due to poor communication. That's just to point to the fact that communication is very key. So communication plays a very vital role, a very fundamental role, not just in our daily lives, but also in our work lives. So for um, good communication comes naturally for some people, but for other people, it can be very difficult to get them to communicate their thoughts, they communicate their feelings in a conversation. That often leads to conflicts within the team and then some fundamental errors that should have been avoided if the communication was put in place. So it's important that whether you're an effective communicator or not, it's just very essential for you to understand the importance of good communication and how it can help you move forward in the working world. Okay, so we're going to be sharing a couple of tools on how a couple of tools that will help you to communicate properly. So it's important to communicate effectively when you're working in general. But dispersed teams can always impact the efficacy of more traditional company communication. Now there are different communication tools that can make work easier and much more effective than others. Emailing tools are actually available for all business communication. Group mails gets to also allow you to send chat responses from your emails, professional communication. Excuse me, all can happen with the emails. And then some messages can get lost in the spam actually, especially if you're using Gmail because Gmail is highly designed to block all those spams. We have some messaging platforms also that can facilitate many of the daily functions in a particular workplace. The Google Hangout, the Slack, the HubSpot that can help you to communicate with your team members effectively. And also, you need to set rules that will help you to communicate effectively as well. Set down the rules and rules for communication. So, therefore, creating the right communication channels, ensuring everybody knows how to use them is very, very essential. It's very, very powerful. You need to consider the audience that you're communicating to, so as to make the work, to make the message very easy for them to be able to engage with. Okay, so it's appropriate that you communicate clearly. Don't speak big grammars that people can understand. Think about the type of message and the context that they're sending the message out, and the people that are going to be receiving the message. They all add up. Okay, and then you need to be able to respond promptly. Respond promptly when people are dropping messages, so that you won't keep people hungry on a particular information that should have been sent out ever since to make things easy again. And then you need to also set um, and role model some communication guidelines within the team so that people can know how things are done and things need to be done. Okay? People will know how things are done and things need to be done so that people don't get off track trying to get things done. All right, so then we have some video conferencing tools and video call tools. So that can enable you to communicate within your teams at real time. It is important that you communicate effectively when working. And then when working, so it's important you can use these tools. We have the Google Meet, we have the Zoom, we have the Skype, we have the Team, we have the WhatsApp. So you can get to communicate and connect with your teams remotely. You can improve the level of communication. You can also boost collaboration within the team. So let's look at each of them briefly. So the Meet is this enterprise-grade video conferencing tool that is built on Google's robust and secure global infrastructure. So the Meet is included in the Google G Suite. Google, that is Google Workspace now, and the Google Workspace for Education. So you can take advantage of the same secure by design infrastructure, built-in protection, and then global network that Google uses to secure information and safeguard your privacy. So you're highly secure when you're Meet calls. So they are all encrypted in transit, and there's an array of default or anti-abuse measures that can keep your meetings very, very safe. So Meet is also fully integrated into that Google Workspace for Education, and it's now built into your Gmails. So you can easily just click on that meeting link and then the meeting gets started. It's not a long protocol like it used to be before. Okay. So and all of the important event details are always right there when you need them. So whether you're joining from a computer, whether you're joining from your phone, your laptop, wherever it is, all of them are all there. And it's available and it's designed for iOS also and Android as well. You can also have it, you can even operate it from a browser also. Not necessarily the app. Meet also is built into the Google Calendar. So you are setting up the meeting. The Meet link is built into that calendar, and then the mail is sent to the Gmail. So the Meet, the Gmail, and the calendar are all encrypted to work together. And then if you're also not in an area where there is Wi-Fi or where there is data, there's a dial-in phone number for each of the meetings. So every guest can always have a great experience with that feature as well. Okay, so that's it for the Meets. Let's look at the Zoom. Now, Zoom got very popular during the COVID. Before and prior to the COVID, the Meet was not a free tool. Okay, Meet was not free. Meet was just in the Google Workspace or the G Suite. So you only access it if you get to pay for it. So the Zoom was the only free tool that was available back then. Not just the only, but the most popular of them actually. So the Zoom was, just popular. So everybody was using Zoom for meetings. So Zoom made a lot of money that period. Their net worth shot up before Google decided to open up the mix for any regular person to use it. So you can download the Zoom from the mobile phone, your computer. Then you can always request a demo for free. Then Zoom will always give you a 40 minutes free meeting. 40 minutes free meeting. The Meet can take up to 100 people, the free version. The Zoom can take up to 100 people, but it only lasts for 40 minutes. The paid version of the Meet can record. The free version of the Zoom can record for only 40 minutes. And after 40 minutes, you are shut out. You want to use the same link again to connect. It means available for PC, Mac, Android, and all those other devices. I always prefer the Meet anyway because the interface of the Meet is much it's easier to navigate the Meet and it consumes lesser data. They have the Microsoft Teams. You have the Microsoft Teams as well. So the Microsoft Teams is more like what Google used to do with the Meet. It wasn't Google Meet wasn't free. The Microsoft Team is still not free. So you get to create teams and channels where you get to organize your departments in separate groups, enable teams to work more effectively. Then you can utilize the chats, the video call functions, can get to boost communication. You can use GIFs, can use emojis to communicate, can share documents, can collaborate with ease. You can use the at function like at with email to tag your colleagues, to tag your friends, notify them what's happening around the team. Now the Microsoft team is included in the Microsoft 365 package. It's not free. It's just one of those tools that could be useful for video conferencing. Now we have the Skype. Now the Skype is the very first video conferencing tool we all knew about. back in the days when you need to buy Skype credits and all of that. So I've not actually used a Skype before. So it's also these video chat apps. So you have access to a variety of very good innovative features like immersive full screen video. You can send chats, invite people, invite, you can send chat invites to everyone. You can blur the background, and lots more that you can do with the Skype. Okay, so let's see how you can run effective meetings. So you need to set agendas. And agendas will help you to frame the discussion, and the scope of the discussion, and ultimately the wider session. You can also ensure everyone is on the same page. You can also consider the tone of voice. The tone of voice is also very, very important. So if working remotely, people can't see your body language, so you need to also consider um, how people are hearing you. It's very, very important. The intonation is good, the expression is good. You don't need to be monotone, okay? You need to consider your tone of voice need to be, let's say, into a little bit approachable. What is the other word now? Where that's aura that can make people, communicate back to you, feel free around you. Not this bossy look. Make it fun and encourage people to use cameras so that you guys can always get to. There's something about seeing the people you're talking to, right? So it makes it much more fun and boost non-verbal and verbal communications as well. And they need to be timely, so you don't need to leave people waiting on the call for you. You need to be punctual as well for an in-person meeting. So video conferencing, we have some etiquettes that you need to take into consideration. You need to get yourself prepared. You need to dress appropriately. Please don't walk naked. Okay, so dress appropriately. You need to consider your lighting so that people can get to see your face. Your background must be good. Don't have something from your background that is distracting people that are watching you, especially when it's on video. So let your background be good and non-destructive. And then consider your audio too. Your people should be able to hear you without the need to stretch. There shouldn't be background noise as well. Okay, we are doing a video call, so be quiet so that you don't distract the other people that are not that are on the call as well. Okay, so let's look at a few tips for collaborating effectively. So you need to equip your team with the right tools, be it phone, PC, or whatever it is, and to also make project management easy to come by. The tools need to be easy to access, and document sharing should be easy and very, very accessible. You need to also encourage collaboration within departments, encourage collaboration within the various departments, and prioritize company culture. Encourage collaboration, prioritize. People don't get to just work and think because they're working, they have to forget the company culture. No, you need to get people to understand the company culture as well. And a couple of tips too for productivity. You need to always over communicate instead of under communicating. Over communicate with the team so that people don't get you wrong. Okay, you need to try and be disciplined. So you don't need to fall into temptation. So much work is not a vacation, not a paid leave. So you need to think about how to be and how to stay disciplined. So you need to also have your tools ready for work. Your PC, your phone, your internet, your power, everything needs to be ready. And then find your booster. What boosts you? What makes you be in the work mood? Some people it could be alcohol. Some people it could be maybe red wine. Some people it could be just wine. Some people it could be just eating junks, could be snacking. Something. Find what puts you in the mood. That booster of yours. Some people it could be energy drink. Don't tell me it's movie. No, it can't be movie. So find what gives you that booster to get the job done, right? Okay. So this is my second pause to answer your questions. We have some. If you have questions, please do what to ask. Edzo seems that two of the same training running simultaneously. Am I right? No, you're not right. Okay, so we had the same topic, right? So I think that was an hour ago, but with a different organization. So this one is a different organization as well. Yes, it's the same topic. We are training different sets of people. Okay, Fafa, I hope you're good, and Ghana as well. Thank you so much for drawing attention to that. Okay, so any other question? And thank you, Diana, for keeping everybody busy in the chats and making it fun. Okay, so let's go to the last part of this presentation. How you can maintain and manage your well-being, which is very, very key. It's very, very important for you to maintain and manage your well-being because it impacts your overall health. So you are healthier and fitter when you manage your well-being. Then it leads to great productivity and it leads to keeping you more motivated, right? You get to stay more focused. You work harder and you work harder, you work more, and you work quickly. You work better as well. You also improve your resilience. You can always overcome the obstacles that actually exist head on. You don't crumble in the face of challenges and in the face of setbacks. Okay? So you boost your morale, you get to boost your morale. So let's also look at why it's important to manage well. What can we do to actually do manage the well-being? Now that we know that it's important to manage the well-being, what can we do to manage the well-being? You need to avoid overworking yourself and try to take regular breaks. You know, set reminders to take breaks. Don't walk around the clock. You break down mentally. You need to be clear with your team when you're leaving. Let them know that they're not supposed to call you when you've left. Okay. Turn off all those notifications when you're on the break. So to let people know, okay, this is the time that you're supposed to be on break. So nobody's supposed to be disturbing you when you're on break. Yeah, once in a while, you need to schedule an in activity within the team, taking a walk, riding a bicycle, flying to space, something, and just get yourself free up yourself. Okay, and then be ready for the culture shift. So beyond the barriers of power supply and internet access and employees, traditional companies have also um, they have had to revise the various aspects of their established work and organizational culture to embrace remote work. So traditional offices also appear brought down by the concerns of the fact that productivity is lagging, and then you should choose to trust the performance metrics that we've put in place, will trump they will trump the entire inefficiency that actually exists. You need to think how you see work because sitting down for hours in a particular place does not equate the amount of work you do, and that is the truth. You does not equate it, or more work needs to be done. So it's all well and good if people want to do their jobs from their homes, but if they don't have electricity, they don't have petrol, they don't have good internet, they don't have good power, nothing productive is going to happen. So you need to rethink the overall performance, you need to rethink the concept of work, to understand commitments, you need to be patient also with people. Okay, so let's look at managing your overall well-being. It's very important that you learn and encourage everyone within your team to exercise. Take mental health as seriously as your physical health because if your mental health is under threat, a lot of things will happen to your physical health. You need to take it seriously as well. Check in with your team managers, check in with your everybody within the team to be able to know how things are getting done. Encourage your workers to also separate their work life and their private life. Then organize in-person set social meetups once in a while to also check um, just to check up what's happening around that space. Organize in-person social meetups. See with you guys embrace work, share a meal, something to help you to get relief up here. Okay, so this is gonna be my last pause for questions. If you have questions, please ask me. But meanwhile, don't forget to learn more. Head over to learndigital.withgoogle.com/digital skills/courses and then sign up for the Hustle Academy. Then get to have the opportunity to learn about Join your business growth plan, sales, digital marketing, financing, learning how to pitch, and all of that. The links will be dropped in the chat, including the links for the social media. So follow us on social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And yes, this was saying thank you for spending the past couple of minutes with us. We are grateful. We are grateful. Thank you so much, Fafa. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you very much. So if you have any questions, I'm going to be here maybe for the next few minutes to see if we have questions from you. Any questions? Any questions? All right, so thank you so much. I wish you the best of your day, the best of your evening, and the best of your weekend. So take a break and then enjoy with your family, enjoy with your friends. Bye.